Yes, Caleb? Yeah, go ahead. So lesson 3-5, we are adding and subtracting like fractions. Well, what is a like fraction? Like fractions are fractions with the same denominator. So if you have the exact same denominator, so if my denominator is 12 of one of my numbers and the denominator is the same with that number, so if I have 1/12 and 3/12, those are called like fractions, because they have the same denominator. If I had 1/8 plus 3/6, they would not be like fractions because they do not have the same denominator. Okay, so let's try adding the fractions together that do have a like fraction, the same denominator. So example one, I have 7/10 plus, I'm gonna do 5/10, change it up a little bit. 7/10 plus 5/10. Ms. Madeline, how would I do this one?
First wrong. Can't change the bottom number. Stuck with it.
I'm stuck with it, whether I like it or not.
And then 7 plus 5.
So 7 plus 5 over 10 is another way of writing it, which 7 plus 5 is going to be what? 12. Thank you for that answer, mystery student. 12 over 10.
We'll call it mystery student Nick. Okay. This up there is not the same as this. No.
I know, I changed the number. Like I'm going to tell you guys how to do in your notes. I know.
Not the same as
So I have 12 over 10. That would be my irregular fraction. Yeah, I changed the 5. I changed the 6 to a 5. Yep. All right. Example 2, which is on page 148 at the top. Oh man, you guys got 6 examples. Get out of here. That's madness.
We've had 7 examples.
You other math groups didn't have that many. All right, example 2, add mixed numbers. 2 3/8. Bless you. Plus 3, and I'm gonna change one number here, and 6/8. 2 3/8 plus 3 6/8. Logan, how do I do this one? Yep, so I have 5 and 9 over 8, and since it's an irregular number right now, I'm going to take away 8 over 8, which will give me one more whole number, so now I'm going to have 6 and 1/8 because I only have one left over, which would be my numerator. So 6 and 1/8. 6 and 1/8 will be my answer for that one. You guys okay with adding mixed fractions? Yeah, that part should be review.
Yeah.
All right. Example 3, subtracting like fractions. So we're pretty much doing the exact same thing, but now we're subtracting. Yay. All right, 3 over 10 minus, change my number again, minus 8 over 10. Oh, stop it. I want to record my video. I don't want to put my videos on YouTube yet. 3 over 10 minus 8 over 10. William, how do I do that? It's going to be a negative.
Yes.
So I'm doing 3 minus 8. Now, and what would be my reduced form there, William?
-1.
Yep, -1/2. -1/2.
We all love that.
We got to remember that if we have a negative, so if our first numerator, our first fraction is smaller than our second fraction, that just means that we're going to have a negative fraction.
How I think of it is I move the 3 above the 8 or whatever number is first, you move it above it, it's lower.
Yeah, and then you'll just remember that you're adding it. So like if you have 3 minus 8 like this, I'm just going to know that it's going to be negative, so I'm just going to flip it, 3 minus 8, and then in my answer I always put down a negative down here. Then I'm just going to do 8 minus 3, that's going to be 5, but I already have my negative there since I flipped it.
You can bring
So
down
-5.
the minus sign.
Yep, you're essentially bringing down the minus sign. Okay, so that's a little bit of review of how we're doing working with negatives, which you guys know already. Okay, example 4, subtract mixed numbers with regrouping. Oh, regrouping. Is there any questions like that where you have to regroup in your homework?
No,
Not in evens? All right, I'm gonna skip that part because we're not gonna be doing regrouping.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, it's just a different style of learning. That's all it is. So we're gonna skip over
It might be
regrouping.
on, like, one of the odds. Yeah.
I don't think it ever says you need to solve this with regrouping. It's just showing you a different way of learning how to do it with shapes,
Thank you.
which is fine, but I'm gonna skip over that because I wanna give you guys more time to do homework. Okay, real world example. We're in the real world now, boys and girls. Example 5. All right, page 149. We're working with crafts. Yay, crafts. All right, LaShawn has 5 1/8 yards of ribbon to border scrapbook pages. Hey, I was scrapbooking over the summer. If she uses 1 7/8 yards on one page, how much ribbon is left? I go through this all the time. Whenever I have to go to the crafting store, like Hobby Lobby or all these, yeah, with my wife, I always have to, I'm the person who adds all the measurements together and how much we actually need to get rather than her buying like 5 rolls of ribbon or something. So I make sure we get the amount that we need so I don't overspend. Yeah, that's where my math comes in handy. So example 5, LaShawn has 5 1/8 yard of ribbon. He has that much. And then if she uses 1 7/8 on one page, so that's how much she uses on one page, how much ribbon is going to be left? How much is left for the rest of our scrapbook page? How do I do this one? Ellen? Yeah. Yeah, all I do is subtract because I'm seeing how much I have left. So 5 1/8 minus 1 7/8. Yeah, Aries? Yeah, that's fine. So I have to subtract my whole numbers, 5 minus 1, and then I need to subtract my fractions. Oops, I didn't want to put an equal sign. So I'll have 1 minus 7 in my numerator, and then my denominator stays the same, so I have 8. So let's solve it from here. 5 minus 1 is 4, and then 1 minus 7 is going to be -6. Great. Do we usually write things like that in when we're working with, let's say, ribbon? No. So Madeline, how do I do this?
You actually take 5 1/8 and make 5 into 4.
Yeah.
8 plus 1, 9, 9, 20.
So when you are going to have, when you're working with a real world example, which we're going to be doing all the time, instead, we're going to take, let's see here. There we go. So like Madeline said, change your 5 to a 4 because we're adding an 8/8 to our fraction. So we now have 4 9/8 minus 1 7/8. So when I solve that out, I'm going to end up getting 3 2/8. So my whole number will be 4 minus 1, which is 3, and then 9/8 minus 7/8, which is going to be 2/8. Which can be reduced to 3 1/4.
The exact same way.
Huh?
You did it the exact same way this time.
I did, yeah.
Good job.
Thanks. It is. It definitely is. So 3 1/4 yards of ribbon left. All right. I'm going to skip over example 6. Actually, no, I'm not, because we're using algebraic functions, and I don't want to skip that. That is very important. Example 6. I wanted to skip it, but I need to do that one. That one's important. So find 2a over 10, 2a over 10 minus, plus 4a over 10, plus 4a over 10. All right, how do I do this one? How do I do this one, Logan? Yep. Yep, I would have 3a over 5 because I'm dividing both my numerator and my denominator by 2. So what if I had, it would make this problem really easy, but my algebra kids last year, this kind of threw them for a loop last year, so I wanted to throw this in. What if I have 2b over 10 plus 4a over 10? How would I solve this out, Galen? So what I would do is write 2b plus 4a over 10. That's my answer.
Oh, really?
That's it. You could.
I thought it would be 6AB. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, because they have a different, we haven't gotten into this yet. They have different coefficients. That's what these are called. They have different coefficients. So you can't simplify anymore. This is what you'll be doing later on. Yeah, I should. So that would be your only answer. If they both had the same coefficient, you'd be able to do it different. But we're not getting into that yet. This is just the beginning. This is pre-algebra. We'll be getting into that later in the year. All right. So that is it. You guys feel good about the lesson so far? I can, yeah. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we have about 5 more minutes of class. So, hot dog.